Hey, what is up, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good night. Looks like Ziggy's in the house. What's up, man? Great work. Got Larry. Oh, looks like we had a tranny that went out. Oh man. But yeah, thanks for being here, guys. As you notice, this is what we painted last week, last Thursday. We did the image transfer, and I also did the leafing on there. I did a little patchwork on and stuff like that since then, and I threw some 2K clear coat over this. So, and that's where we're at now. You can kind of see that right here we have the line of the image transfer. It is pretty smooth right now. You can see it's just, you can kind of see it just a little bit. Kind of, we had a little bit of a lip there, but overall we had really good adhesion, no problems. But what we're going to do basically is I'm going to sand this down. Um, I'm going to touch up a few areas that, like right here, we have some leaf that was stuck that I didn't take care of. I just went ahead and cleared this thing, but I'll go ahead and black out the edges, clean that up. And what we'll do is we'll do the same thing I did on the last bike I did of this particular paint job, because this paint job is coming off of a chopper that I did, and this is kind of a piece that I'm painting for the builder that he's just going to kind of keep as a memento of that. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some fire up in here with some candy colors. We're gonna use some white base coat. I'm gonna use some black base coat, and we're gonna use both red and gold candies, and we're gonna mix an orange with that. Um, so yeah, it'll kind of blend in with the design. We're gonna add maybe just a little more candies up into here, and then we're also gonna be able to take care of these edges and blend them in since we've already clear coated this thing. But yeah, that's it. Everything went pretty smooth. Everything looks pretty good. So I'll go ahead and get to it. So I'm going to use the sanding sponge here. Just going to scuff it down. All right. So it's looking pretty good. Well, you want to make sure you hit the edges as well. And it doesn't really matter if we burn through because we are going to be touching all this area up. So kind of just get gnarly on it. Basically, we're just scuffing this all down, getting rid of, let's see, there's a little bit of texture here still from the flake. Go ahead and knock that down. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and feel free. We got some stuff to give away too, right, Ash? Mm-hmm. We haven't heard from you yet today. She's back. Were you here last week?
Yeah.
Before. But we're gonna give some stuff away as well. I think. What do we have to give away? We have
Lots of stuff.
a bunch of tape. We have a bunch of metal flake. And what else we got? Oh, we got leafing supplies. And we got a leaf spinner. Same thing we used here. Leafing. The tools. And some stencils. So make sure you guys chime in. We'll ship these. We'll give these away and ship them out as long as you're here in the States. We're not going to be able to ship them like to a different country or anything like that. So sorry about that. You have to be here in the States or possibly Canada. I'll do Canada too. But yeah, we'll figure out how to give that stuff away, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we got a mini helmet too, right? Mm-hmm. We'll give away a mini helmet as well.
All right, someone has a question. They said, does your leafing glue go hard in the bottle? If so, how do you get the glue to spray?
Does it go hard in the bottle? No, it shouldn't. I mean, maybe if it's expired or a few years old, or if you leave the cap off. But no, you should be good. You're just going to mix it 50-50 with water to make it sprayable, and then make sure you're spraying light coats. Okay, it's basically we're just knocking down all of the gloss, doing two things: knocking down the gloss and smoothing out the surface with this sanding sponge. Also, what else we got going on? Okay, there's if you guys are watching on Amazon, because this is also streaming live on Amazon Live, or you can also go to Amazon. If you go to any of my products that I'm using, the tape, the flake, any of the leafing supplies, if you type in 15 off lime, you want to put that in the chat. So it's the code is 15 off lime. Yeah, it's all one word. Yep. And then if you in the checkout, you can see where there's promotion codes. So type that promotion code in there, and that'll be good for today and tomorrow. 15% off of all those items, and there's no limit to that. So yeah, use it up. If you're watching on Amazon Live, you should be able to see it right on the bottom of the carousel there, and that's should be there. Yeah, put that in the chat, will you? Oh, looks like we got a super chat.
Larry just sent you a $20 super chat and said, "This is the best part of my week other than my kids. Thank you, Adam and Ashley."
Yeah, right on. So he actually won something because we said the first super chat's going to win some supplies.
Okay, let's see.
Looks like you won, Larry. That was I think one of the conditions that first super chat's going to win something. Really appreciate that because I know you guys don't have to do it. I'm totally like exhausted today. I think I'm on my like 4th cup of coffee. I'm trying to keep going. This is a pretty easy one though. We'll be done pretty fast. That's why we decided to give some stuff away. And maybe we can chat a little bit if you guys want to talk more than just about the paint itself. Maybe talk about, you know, how to build a business, how to maybe how to advertise, how to promote yourself. Any questions you have like that, how to build an Amazon affiliate account, I'll talk anything about that. Personal branding. If you guys got something you got going on, you just want to talk about it, chime in. Maybe you'll win something. All right, so it looks like that's pretty good. So you see right here, like you're gonna want to make sure you scuff all that down.
I think Larry asked about some metal flake. I know, so I was like wondering if I should give him 2 bags of metal flake. I know he's asking how much.
Yeah, and some tape.
Okay.
Well, we're doing a combo thing here, not just like a couple things.
No, I know.
Okay, you're gonna win some flake. You already did. You got some tape. Come on, don't be stingy.
I can't find the 16. I'm searching.
Okay, come on. One more. There you go. And you got yourself some stencils. All right, let's put that in Larry's pile. Get with me. So anybody that wins some, get with me, either on Instagram or email, or you can email LimeLine. You can do whatever. Just make sure we get your information. We'll have that set aside for you. Thank you. Appreciate the super chat for sure. All right, I think we're good here. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up with some glass cleaner.
Someone asked, where do you get the image transfer?
The image transfer is printed. Basically, I found.
Maybe he means the paper because he says transfers.
Oh, on Amazon. See, this is white water slide decal paper. If you go to the affiliate link that I have down in there, it'll be there. Let's see, where did my rack go?
And then someone said, how long does it take for paint to cure?
It kind of depends on what you're spraying and what paint it is. So anything that has a 2-part component, like a part A and a part B, is going to take longer to dry because it's like chemically drying and it just takes time. So for instance, clear coat, which is a 2-part, you mix those two together and it takes, about, before you can handle, all depends on the product, but before you can handle it, usually about 12 hours or so. Some are faster, some are slower. But unlike base coat, it's when you spray base coat on, really it dries pretty dang fast, like within a minute or so. It all depends on how heavy you spray it and like what size of nozzle, or if you're spraying out of an airbrush, it's virtually dry right when you spray it. So there's a lot of variables with dry time, but just so you know, base coats dry fast. They're not meant for gloss, and they're meant to coat over with a 2-part clear coat or something like that.
Looks like Jeremy sent you a $10 super chat.
Oh yeah, Jeremy won too, right? Let's do the first two.
Okay.
Okay, Jeremy, you won. We'll keep it going. What we got? Ooh, she's getting you good stuff. Yeah. Well, if you're gonna give him that, you're gonna give him the roller too. There we go. All right. You won yourself a leafing kit. You got some sizing glue. That's what we use here. You got some bronze. Is that bronze?
Copper.
You got some copper leaf, and you got the tools that we use. So once again, just like Larry, we'll set this aside for you. Who is this?
Jeremy.
Jeremy. We'll set this aside for you, and then let us know your address, and we'll get these shipped out ASAP. Okay, I got some white base coat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create like a candy fire design that's going to go up here, and we're going to kind of take care of these little problems like right there. You can see that that's the edge. It's smooth, which is great. We just need to hide it with some graphics and some color. So pretty easy to do. But I'm going to do a flame design that's going to come up here, maybe trickle up through here a little bit, and then yeah, we'll see what happens.
And someone said, I know you mentioned this for a customer. What did you charge for him, if you don't mind sharing?
This particular paddle, I haven't decided yet, and he might be watching.
Is it? I don't know if he's talking about the paddle or the bike. I'm not sure.
The bike was a few $1,000s. It was I think it was $3,000, and it was a tank and a back fender and an oil tank. If I remember right on this particular paint job. But man, I just spilled some paint right there. I need to... This paddle, I don't know how much I would charge for this. Probably like $300, but really, if you're doing this for somebody, you should be charging like $500 or $600 or whatever you feel comfortable with, but charge something.
Then someone said, how long have you been airbrushing and leafing for?
I've been leafing for about 1.5 years, and I've been airbrushing for about 20 years. Mostly, I would say about 15 years of those been full-time, my own kind of business thing. And yeah, and just barely recently started with the leaf because I was able to get the glue and be able to do it in a way that made it work, I guess, for me at least. And for a lot of other people, I think it's working for them as well. Okay, white base coat. So this is really over reduced because what I want to do, I want this to be like super faint. I don't want it to, I just want it to be very subtle. So if this was really thick, then you'd probably have a hard time making things, really subtle. In fact, I'm just going to fill it up about a little less than halfway. Where's my reducer?
Somebody asked, what is the grit on the leaf spinner?
5,000.
And then someone asked, will you be doing a demonstration on your new clear you have?
The clear coat. Yeah, I think I will. I'm not really sure how to make that entertaining though. But yeah, I think I will. Maybe a quick tutorial or something on how to mix it and then spray it, and then maybe your dry times and stuff like that. probably would help out a lot.
And someone asked, what size of compressor do you use for most of the work?
So I'm using just an Airbrush Studio compressor right now, but I use like a full 2-stage compressor for my actually using my spray guns. So yeah, right now the Airbrush is just hooked up to, I think it's an Iwata Studio is what it is. All right, so I'm just going to tape out this perimeter. I don't really want to tape on top of my leaf. It's better off just not messing with that. I'll end up masking it that way. So, and really, I don't need to have this dead on. I'm just going to go a little bit farther to the inside.
And then Darren on here said he's been airbrushing on and off since the 80s. He found us a while ago, definitely got him back into wanting to do it again. He said he's just done a lot of different work, and he's a firefighter is his career.
Oh, right on. Yeah, that's awesome. That's what I used to do. Kind of part-time. Yeah, but awesome. It's a fun thing to get into, even if it's a hobby. I feel like, I mean, there is a little bit of a learning curve when it comes to like learning all of the materials. I think is probably the part that that's maybe a little bit harder. But really, like what we're doing here, just laying out the tape, using the airbrush to follow the lines, it's pretty easy. But just knowing what products to use, what products you can use together, and also like how the layering process works. You know, what comes first, what goes on last, how do you prep metal, I guess, you know, there's a lot of how not to use like spray paint, like use the right stuff all the way through. I think a lot of people will try to spray paint it first and then use good paints over the top, and they have a lot of problems with adhesion, or they just don't primer it. But yeah, learn the process. It's not too hard, really. Yeah, appreciate that comment though.
And someone said, how would you achieve a watercolor effect with paint?
Watercolor effect with paint. Okay, so with what I wouldn't use candies. I would use like a pigment, a really like I don't know, like find a color palette of maybe like different colors, like that you would see usually in watercolors. Blue, your primary colors, probably all you need is a red, a blue, and a yellow pigmented color. You could over reduce those, making them really runny, and then basically just playing with it. That's what I would do. Try to see how much reduction you can do. Maybe change your air pressure to see what you can do to make it look more like watercolors. But yeah, I mean, I've never actually done it myself. I made stuff look like neon lights and other textures, but not that. But that's interesting. Let me think more on that.
Randy gave you a $15 super chat.
Oh yeah, he won too. They keep winning. Holy crap! What did he win? What did he win? I told you we're keeping it going. All right, let's grab some tape here too. Yeah, they give to us, we give back, right? That's all it takes. That's all it takes till we run out, you know? Okay, we got some flake, we got some tape, and we have another stencil. Let's go with the stencil too. All right. And the name again?
Randy.
Randy. Thanks, Randy. Appreciate that.
Someone said, how long have you been doing custom paint, and how do you find customers willing to pay for the work?
I've been doing it for 20 years about, and I used to find them back long ago on eBay and then have them send me parts, kind of like a send me your parts, I paint them up, send them back. You can kind of watch, and then they could watch them on my blog. But this is like many years ago, before even really before maybe the early days of Facebook, not even Instagram. But that's the way I used to do it, is I would just put advertisements on eBay. I feel like those days are kind of dead. The way would be TikTok and Instagram. You just got to post your work. Maybe post to, there's some, there's a couple of pages out there that will share your work, and just put yourself out there and say, hey, I'm booking now. This is my portfolio. This is what I'm able to do. And then you'll find the right customers. They'll come to you. There's plenty of them. There's a lot, because I know that I get calls, especially this time of year. So busy. It's incredibly busy. So there's work out there. You just have to put yourself out there, show your work, like I said, that, and a lot of, and the other thing is, they don't have to be local. In fact, I prefer my clients to be from out of state. That way they can't like drop by or anything like that. It's just easier that way for me. And then shipping is not too bad. It's I usually just, if it's a tank and two fenders, usually the front fender will slip inside of the rear fender. And as long as you wrap it up, I'll use those packing blankets from Harbor Freight. I guess they're shipping blankets, what they call them. But yeah, I mean, they're like, I don't know, like $8 a piece or something, but well worth the little extra money. And then the customer feels like they get something, at least they get that. Gets wrapped up in that with some shrink wrap. That's how I do it, at least.
Okay, then there's lots of questions to get to, so
okay, sorry, I'm not gonna talk so long.
Whip them out.
I don't know why I haven't say all
that. Someone says, what's the difference in applying the white water transfer and the clear?
So the method is different. The clear, you're going to print it out the same way. It's going to be clear water slide decal paper, but you're going to spray white base coat over the top. And the key is with that white base coat is you want to spray it really smooth over the top of the image. And once that dries, you go ahead and soak it in the water, and it'll release from the backing, and you lay it upside down. So the ink is actually sandwiched in between the white base coat on the bottom now and the transfer paper, the clear transfer paper. So basically, if I would have done it on this, it would have showed reverse, because we would have been looking at it the opposite way. That's a little confusing, I know, but I don't know. Maybe you got something out of that. But then it does rely on a couple of things. You have to have that white base coat laid out really smooth. If there's any kind of like texture to it, or how like if you spray too much base coat on something, it gets like the little balls kind of like you can just feel the texture. That's not going to stick. You're just going to have problems with that adhesion. But if you can get a good transfer onto sanded clear coat where it's really smooth, those two surfaces will lock together. But it's kind of a hit and miss though too. I prefer this method better. So white water slide decal paper with clear base coat over the top and then laid down. Somebody also did mention in a chat that if you use a Epson, and maybe somebody knows this, if you use an Epson printer with ink, you don't need to use anything over the top. It's not water soluble. It'll hold up to the water. Interesting. So I'm going to try that. But anyways, we got more questions, so we keep going. Oh, there we go.
And then someone said, I did my transfer but had hard lines around the pattern.
Yeah, so I had my hard lines right here. I kind of just sanded them out. I gave this thing a good 4 coats of clear coat. But yeah, you'll get those. You just got to sand them out.
Okay, and then someone said, when spinning leaf, is there a wait time after applied, or if you let it sit, will it not be spinnable?
You're better off. Really better off spinning it when you're done, when you're finished and ready to go. I wouldn't really wait, but yeah, it still can be spun. I've spun it. I just feel like it's better just to do it all at once. Don't wait. Peel your tape though. Peel your tape lines and then do it after that. That's gonna keep your pad longer. The tape lines and the paint off that will kind of wear out your 3000 grit pad.
Okay, and then someone said, does the printing of the transfer fade over time, or does the clear coat protect it from fading?
Well, the clear coat is going to protect it up to a certain amount. Really, you have to be cautious with these because they will fade over time. 100% they will fade to a certain extent. It just depends on how you take care of them. You know, if I had this on my chopper tank, I wouldn't really leave it out in the sun. I just wouldn't do it. So I would choose image transfers for particular styles and particular bikes that maybe don't get ridden a whole lot. I know it's sad to say, but if it's just not a daily driver, kind of a paint job, I guess.
And someone said, how long should you wait after spraying clear to cut and buff?
I like to wait only. Sometimes I'll do it the next day. Like I'll spray it one day and then the next day I'll cut and buff it. Usually I like to keep a day in between. So I would say 30 hours, 48 hours. But I wouldn't wait too much longer than that because having that clear coat a little fresh when you go to buff it, it's just softer and it smooths out faster and easier. I feel like it's less work. If the clear coat shells up really hard, like you wait a couple months before you do it, then it's going to be a lot harder and more difficult. So keep that in mind. But I think a lot of it would depend on the clear coat you're using, though. What did I do there? What is this? What's going on? All right. I'm just going to tape up a little more up here.
And somebody said, someone's asking, if you're brushing and your gun piles on your project, how do you repair it or clean it up?
I'm sorry. Say that one more time. I'm going to listen this time.
You're going to listen this time?
Yeah.
Okay. If you're brushing and your gun piles on your project, how do you repair it or clean it up?
Oh, shoot. I really don't know. That's
His answer is he puts a bullet hole in it.
Yeah.
So
That's been the answer.
just add a bullet hole in there.
I rely on the audience to ask me, like, what the hell am I going to do to fix this thing? I don't know. We might have a few accidents today. I know we've had them in the past. That's where the bullet hole thing came from, right?
Yep.
That guy should have won something. Did he win something?
I can't remember.
Yeah. If he's on there, if you could prove you're the bullet hole guy, you win. That changed my life. I tell customers, well, you know, I know you didn't want a bullet hole, but I felt like it works.
And someone said, I have a friend that's wanting me to do his goalie helmet. What's your opinion of him purchasing the supplies in trade for the art? It would be practice for me to get back into it.
If you feel comfortable with it, I feel like that's fine. The biggest thing is if somebody comes from another art, say like they get a quote from somebody else. I'm like, oh yeah, so-and-so's to paint this helmet's $1,500. And that's some people's price. And that's actually for the amount of work they do. That's decent. They should be charging that or more. So you got people coming to you like that saying that, you know, he does it for this much. I'm looking to do it for cheaper. Don't mess with it. Don't take a job from somebody else just because you want the job and you're willing to do it cheaper. People won't like you for that real quick. So at least charge something. Maybe not as much as the next guy because maybe he's more experienced and he can.
He said it's a buddy, though.
Yeah, it's a buddy. So if you feel comfortable with it and you're not taking a job from somebody else, then I could see definitely doing that. Yeah.
Someone said, what type of glue do you use for leafing and how long does it take to actually cure?
So I use the LimeLine glue mixed 50-50 with water. It's sprayed on with an airbrush. We do 3 to 4 light coats. Make sure it's really even. The dry time is literally going to be like 1 minute or less. Basically, you touch it. If it's tacky, you're good. It's good to go. If it strings up even a little bit, you're going to want to wait just a few more minutes, another minute or another 30 seconds. It's really hard to say because, I don't know what temperature it is in your shop and stuff like that. But that's kind of why we do the test is if it's tacky, you're good to go. You're going to have enough adhesion there in order for your leaf to stay stuck. But if it's too wet and you lay it down, the glue is going to have a hard time drying. And when you go to spin it, it will tear. That's how you know. So if it's your first time leafing, I suggest maybe practice on something a couple of times on a clean piece of metal or plastic or, whatever you can practice on and get it right and get the times down. And then I would go ahead and do it. Also, you can leaf it twice. You can lay down the glue, do your first coat of leaf, brush it down, glue again, next coat of leaf. That'll save you in case you burn through. You'll have that extra bottom layer. So I got this thing all wrapped up, though. Look at that. I wasn't planning on going that crazy, but I really didn't want to get overspray. So, okay. I already got the white paint loaded up, like I did earlier. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. So this is like really over reduced. Let's check this out.
I have lots more questions.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Let's go.
Any idea what can cause silver leaf to bubble up overnight?
You one of two things: not enough glue, or you waited too long, or both. It could be both of those. Make sure you're getting. I mean, it's really tempting just to do a couple of light coats. Maybe you didn't put quite as much in a certain area and it dried a little faster. I guess basically just a double check to make sure you're getting full coverage all the way through, and and get that leaf laid down.
Okay. And then someone says, I didn't catch earlier. What did you spray? A sealer over the wood, or just an automotive primer to seal the wood, and prevent it from soaking in?
I just went with the black base coat right over the wood, and I cleared it and flaked it and cleared it. So I don't know if that was the best way to do. This is just kind of like a wall hanger. Not too worried about it. So, but if it was something more important, maybe primer it. Maybe primer it with some primer, seal it up. But I didn't do it because I really just sealed it up with the flake and the clear. You can see how fast I'm just building this up.
No, I don't think we can see. Oh.
Yeah, right there. That's right.
Stall for a second.
Yep.
Okay, then someone says, I know you have said to charge at least $1,500 for a bike to get your name out there. Would you make a deal with a guy to get the job and use it as advertisement?
Yeah, you'll get people telling you that. If you feel comfortable with it, I mean, make sure you make enough money to make something. And it all depends on the customer. Like, is he wanted a certain way? I mean, really, he can't pay a little bit. So if you feel comfortable with it, maybe do it. Just make sure it's not one of these guys shopping around and they're like, oh, I can get this guy to do it for free, and then they're always the ones that that bitch about the little stuff. Sorry, my language, but it's true. We have there's a stencil right under there.
Hold on.
Okay, lots more questions. We're going to get to them. Go ahead.
Okay, then someone said, have you ever used thermochromatic paint?
Oh,
color
yes.
changing the paint?
Yes, I have actually for the first time just the other day.
How did he know?
I have some right here.
How did he know? How did he know?
Yeah. How did he know? I think you won something.
Okay.
You read? Are you looking in on my cameras? You got my Wi-Fi password? Here, I'm going to show this real quick since you said something.
Just testing this out.
Got my heat gun. And it goes away. Look at that. It makes it a shade orange. So this is orange thermo paint, whatever it's called, but you can see pretty cool. And then
It reminds me of those shirts we wore in, like, I don't know, this is probably like, I don't know what age, maybe 7th grade, that you go out in the sun and they would change colors. Those are friggin' awesome. Remember those?
Yeah, there were. And that's cold water. Oop. So pretty awesome. I think you can maybe hide some artwork under there because it's basically once it gets warm, it disappears. The coating disappears and it turns out just a shade of that color. So yeah, good job. You won. And we got to show that off. Awesome.
Well, you pick what you want while I'm writing this down.
All right. Well, it looks like you won. What did he win today? Won some flake. And you won some tape. You got flake and tape. Maybe he needs an eighth inch too. Here we go. One of each.
Someone said I in Mother of Pearl, and she has decided she wants lace. Do you think 2 layers of red candy would darken it so the red candy would let it show through?
You want to put that one on the screen and I'll read it while I change this color. Okay. So I'm kind of confused maybe on the question a little bit. So it's in pearl right now, white pearl, I'm guessing. She wants to do candy red, darken it with candy red. Yeah, I mean that would work. Definitely would turn it. I would try to experiment on something before going all out on that, maybe. But maybe you can email me pictures or something later. You could email me or Instagram. I can let you know more. All right, what do we got here? Okay, I got some gold candy. I'm gonna go ahead and I cleaned up the airbrush. Ooh, that's way thick.
Ernie sent you $10 super chat.
Oh, Ernie won.
And Mike sent you a $20 super chat.
Whoa, Mike won.
Adventures of Nova Boy sent you $20 super chat.
Oh my gosh, we got a lot of winners.
Randy sent you $10 more and said, why not make it a total of 25? So here's 10 more.
Hell yeah, thank you. I reduced that gold down. So you guys, yeah, so what do we got? So each one of those won a roll of tape and a flake. We'll do each size of tape on those. And flake. Bag of flake, which will take you to do a whole Sportster or Softail. Guys, what's your name? We have it all written down here, so we'll get those sent out. All right, so I know when starting to layer these, real fire jobs, a lot of people like to start with the darker candies, maybe starting with a red and then an orange, and then finally with the gold. I personally like to do it in reverse because that way I can decide where my reds are going to go. Because if you coat red candy over the whole thing, when you go to clear it, those candies will mix together and darken, and it'll have less of a contrast, I guess. So I feel like I feel like doing it this method is better for me. So with the nice thing with the gold, you over everything because it is the lightest shade of the candies we're going to be using. So we're just going to be using the gold like we're doing, and we're going to do a red, and then the blend of the two is going to make an orange.
When someone asked, "Are you going to candy paint the gold leaf today?"
No, the leaf does not get candied on this one. I would do it if this wasn't for a customer, and it's going to have to match what he already had. But yeah, that would be awesome. I love the way the candy looks on top of spun leaf. It just looks really good. Okay, so looks like I got enough gold on there. It's kind of hard to tell at that angle that that's gold, but you can see that I just kind of airbrushed like a wispy lines. It's just nothing serious. I just see I kind of come up here. Yeah, just lines like that, just a rough layout.
And someone asked, after all your years of airbrushing and doing it to the point where you're like, oh God, not another airbrush job, or are you still smiling on each and every project?
I found I like to teach. I think after doing something for that long, it's just you kind of get burnt out every once. The nice thing about custom paint is you can do a lot of different things. You can do, an 80s style mini truck job. You can do candy paint. You can do metal flake. You can do, two tones. You can do a lot of different effects. So yeah, you can. I guess that's the best way that I like to do it. Like I like to switch up my paint jobs. I think when I first started, I did a lot of the skulls in the fire, just like the fire like this, and it did really good paying the bills. But I think the most burnout I've ever been in my life was painting those over and over again. But it paid the bills.
Skulls, fire.
Yeah, every one.
What
did you see what I do with that?
The stencil you came and grabbed?
Yeah. Oh, it's right there. Okay. All right. So I just got like a random stencil here. What is this thing? I think it's an art tool, like a fire stencil. I think I got this off of Amazon. I've had it for a while, but this is what I'm going to use to kind of create some of the hard curves here. So I'm not really following anything that I've done before. Like I'm going to try to create just another little layer on top, kind of create some more depth. See, it's just going on really light. I'm not hammering it on. Also, I'd like to make sure that I have, like, since it's kind of the fire's going from here up, I like to have it like brighter and more encompassing down here, and then it kind of trails off to the top. Kind of comes into the image a little bit. Just gonna turn it different directions like that. Let's see how this is like one, and then we can just a little freehand up in there. So I just kind of connected that piece, and it looks like just like a piece of fire, like rolling up. Let's go up here.
Larry gave you another $5 super chat and just said, thanks again.
Yeah, thanks, Larry. Appreciate you, man. Okay, see how I'm just kind of building that up right there? A lot of times I also like to come in, so I have this line right here, and I like to kind of duplicate it just a little bit, but then I'll like just a little bit, like, so it looks like it really gives it some depth there. And then once again, it's not all stencils here. We're just kind of going to fog it in, going to make kind of a smoky look, kind of tie it all together, give it some depth. Still, even with the white, still pretty transparent. Oh, stepping on my hose.
Don't step on your hose. Someone said, how long do you wait before leafing over the size? They heard that it was until, I've heard till a knuckle can squeak across, but I'm not sure roughly how long that is.
Yeah, that's if you're using the traditional style oil-based glue. You do the knuckle test, but you're also applying that with a brush. So that's going to be a different method. It's a method that I never really got to work. I couldn't get my edges to go like, that was my biggest thing, is I couldn't get my edges to be nice. They're always like jagged, and I really don't pinstripe, so I couldn't never really do it. Never got it down, but people do it and it works great. But I think it's like 20 minutes or something, or a half an hour, if I remember right. Maybe somebody can chime in, they know better. But yeah, I think 20 minutes, I think is time on that.
Someone said, do you have a white base coat?
I do. Yep. I'm just waiting on, so that should be out soon.
The guy that said he's doing the thermo on his pan head.
Ooh. I like anything pan head. So that's awesome. Thermo. Yeah, that's I'm looking to maybe get into a little bit more of that.
And someone said, how much artistic liability do customers generally allow you to take? And would you take a job where the customer was being super specific and critical of what they wanted?
That's a great question. You can, yeah, you definitely want to talk to your customer and get the feel for what they're thinking. You'll run into some people that are like super crazy, and that's exactly what they want to do, is they want to kind of choose where everything goes. But they really don't know how to do it or how to put it together. They just know they want it like that. But then sometimes it just does not work out, and they're just got a crazy idea. You gotta set some parameters before you take the job. You have to say, well, first of all, I can only do this to the best of my ability. I can't make it look exactly like that. I can do something similar to that. This is what I've done in the past. I'm willing to take on the job, but understand that, I've never really done anything like this. But if you have enough work, just turn it down. Those are the ones just to send packing. Maybe give them somebody else's name you don't like. Just say, hey, go to this dude. He'll help you out. Because, some people maybe just take on anything. Especially when you're brand new, you pretty much take anything that comes your way. But just be really cautious. You want to find the customers that kind of know what they want, but they're letting you do what you want. You can kind of they'll give you free reign. Even though they say it, you have to see, get them a fill out to see if they really mean it. A lot of customers, I know we have more questions, but a lot of customers will try to add on stuff like, oh yeah, what about this? Well, just make sure that you make it clear that, if it's not in to do that, because they'll send extra parts or something like that. But yeah, it's something. It's just like paint. You're going to get good at filling out customers, just like you're going to get good at painting. If you do a lot of it, you're going to know which ones to send on their way and which ones definitely to be keeping. I usually know it within the first couple of minutes talking to them, but sometimes they'll surprise you. This is red candy, so I'm going to kind of throw it up in here. Throw it up. Not for real. I haven't drank that much. I'm on straight coffee today. Now I'm going to kind of blend all that in. See how I'm not like really, saturating the flames. I'm kind of just hitting the negative space with this red candy. Okay, let's go ahead and hit it with some. No reason to really hit it with gold. or with orange, because hitting it with the gold candy is going to make everything kind of blend into an orange anyways.
Okay, then another question. Well, I guess comment question says, a guy asked me how much for a Cholo style with frame included. It would be my first full bike, and I told him around 2,500 to 3K and explained it's a 5K job. Make some profit, get your name out there.
Yeah, I mean, is it a whole bagger? Is it like a? But yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're gonna make some money there.
And then someone says, ask what kind of gold that is, Spanish gold or pagan gold?
This is the LimeLine gold that I'm using that will be out. Man, a couple months still, but it'll be out shortly. It's the concentrate mixed with clear base coat.
And somebody
kind of give an idea of what we're doing here. Kind of hard to see with the glare, you know.
Somebody asked, what brand of candy do you use, and can your clear base coat be a carrier for the candy?
Yes, and I use LimeLine candies, and that base coat, yes, will work. That looks like that's a little better. There we go.
Someone said Amazon has a cool Virgin Mary stencil.
Oh, really? Out of plastic? Is that a plastic, I wonder? Or okay, that's oh.
Josh said, thanks for all your tips and advice. Been showing my work and picked up several jobs doing helmets and a tank.
Yeah, awesome. Helmets are a good one to start with, for sure.
Somebody, I think, is answering you on the other style of the leafing glue. Says roughly a half an hour if you brush the size. Lay it lightly. Always got brush marks and rough edges, though.
Yeah, and then sometimes you'll get, like, it takes so long for the regular glue, the traditional oil-based leafing glue that's brushed on, that a lot of times debris could float and land in it. And any kind of debris that lands in it, it's going to show up when you lay that thin layer of leaf down. And then when you go to spin it, it's probably going to tear right there. That's the reason why. I mean, it's just faster to get it done. Literally in a minute, you're laying down the leaf. It's clean. It's good. As long as you prep it good enough and you make sure that your coverage is good and you're waiting long enough, but not too long. All right, I'm going to do my last layer of the fire over this, going back to the white base coat. Now I'm going to really reduce this out. When I say reduce it out, we're thinning it out to where you can see, let's move this a little bit here. You can see where it's just totally like, if I pull back too far, it's just going to blow out. So I'm going to be really careful and just kind of blend a little bit more of a smoky look into that. I'm going to lightly use my stencil and add a couple more lines that don't really match up with the rest. They kind of just create their own little layer over the top. See how you can still see, I know it's very in the very corner here, but you can still see this flame underneath that. So almost making it look transparent. You can see that. That's super important to make these look really depthy. You see right there, we had that line. This kind of connects right there. I don't know. I spray it and yeah, see, as long as you're just kind of like spraying it off in a little bit different direction, that's where you're going to get that layering to look good. A lot of people will make the mistake of just going straight over, and I did this too, straight over the exact stencil you just did, and you're really not doing anything. You're just stacking it up. You want to make each layer just a little bit different than the other. And then as you go, you just kind of tighten them up, making them a little bit smaller. Because before I was making like one right here, one up there, blending that whole thing together. Now we're just doing, little ones inside. So we got this one right here. And I think this is the stencil I used. Let's see. This is the stencil I used right there. So I'd want to use maybe, you know, a different shape. Not that same line right there. Kind of maybe just bring it to a different angle. Hit it right there. And then maybe hit one right there. Smoke that in a little bit. And freehand there. Just kind of blow that out a little bit. Fill that in. Also like making these little holes right here, like in the fire, because it gives it a lot more depth. And I'm just gonna put a few more here and there. Looks like I used that one there, so let's go and change that up to that one. Maybe a little bit more in this corner where I couldn't reach.
Someone's asking, what airbrushes do you prefer? Any particular brand?
Yeah, I like Iwata. It's a good all-around airbrush, and this one's only like $75, so it's a good deal. Okay, I'm gonna put down some final gold.
Dan just gave you a $10 super chat and said, can't wait for them candies to come out. Thanks for everything.
Oh yeah, right on. Dan won too. What did he win? Flake and tape. Yeah, I can't wait for it to come out too. I got it here, but limited quantity, so I can't actually sell it, and I'm still working on some of the details of it.
Austin, what a shitty thing, but I'll just read his comment. Kind of sucks. He said, I had a family friend tell me the other day I needed to charge him less to paint his bike because my shop wasn't nice. Oh my gosh, LMAO. He no longer likes me. What is yours?
Yeah, what is it?
Who cares what your shop looks like? Mess up.
I've done some stuff out of my garage. Shit, I painted out of a 2-story building, and they didn't even. They turned out fine. Some of my best work came out of a garage. Yeah, it's like when I started out of the garage, like straight up, like picking up any job I could. But this is a long time ago when people didn't know what was good artwork and what wasn't. You can get away with a lot. It's really grown a lot. People have gotten really good. Okay, just hitting this overall with the gold. And then I'm going to hit it one more time just to darken it up with the red, like in the darkest areas there.
I gotta laugh, but I can tell you this. Someone on Amazon wrote, hey, who are you going to paddle with this? Are you in a frat?
Yeah, you don't want to get paddled with this thing.
Well, that's funny.
This
That he
thing
asked who's going to get paddled, but then first thing he asks is if you're in a frat.
Yeah.
I thought I was funny. What the hell,
The
man?
frat paddle. Hit this thing on your ass, it's gonna burn. All right, that looks good. You don't really get the full effect of what the fire actually looks like until it's clear coated. But hopefully I got good enough footage here that I'm gonna be able to do another video, like I usually do. Let's go ahead and pull this. Hopefully we didn't tape any of this leaf on accident.
Larry said, how's the German beer shortage? Well, it's short still because I'm drinking hopefully.
A painkiller, the drink?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't want anybody to think you're taking painkillers.
No.
Well,
It's
you
called-
said it like that. I mean,
Oh, yeah, shit. No, it's called the painkiller. It's made with whiskey. That's what I had you try.
oh yeah, that was all right.
Yeah, Nix's lemon drop. But I'm trying to get Adam to take me to Germany so I can have some German beer there. fresh out the tap.
Well, I'm down. Okay.
We just got another $10 super chat.
Oh, yeah, he won. Another winner. All right. Let's go ahead and pull this tape here.
Austin said he painted a 69 LTD in his junk shop last August, and the guy paid $25K and was more than happy. He said, not bragging, but just proud of myself.
Yeah, badass. That's not easy to paint a whole car, too. So make your money for sure on that.
And then someone asked, how long does the 5,000 grit pad last on the leaf spinner?
It'll last a super long time. And it also comes with an extra pad, so it's going to last you, it depends on how much you do it. Really, it's going to last you years. All right, looking good. Let's see, let's get this so we can see it. So you can see here, there's the layers. I started with the back layer, kind of just fogging it in. Didn't really even use the stencil, and I used, really reduced white base coat. Followed it up with some gold candy, red candy, back to white, back to gold, back to white. You can really do that as many times as you want to add more layers. I feel like this is plenty enough. You can see, even the little hot spot burn embers there. You can do a little bit more of these up there. But I feel like that's good. I mean, sometimes less is more. Don't go all crazy. Make sure on this you thin out your paints enough. I think that's the biggest takeaway you could take from this is make sure that white paint is over reduced. Like I was spraying it, it was pretty much blowing out. But, by lightly airbrushing, not going too much, and just kind of, just doing it easy in layers. That's pretty much what it's all about. But yeah, we'll finish up the questions real quick, and then we're gonna call it a night. What do you think?
What's that? Tell me the
Amazon coupon code again so I can type
Oh
it
yeah,
in here.
yep. There's an Amazon coupon code, Lime. 15 off Lime. You want to put it on the screen? So if you go to buy the tape, excuse me. If you
Look,
go to,
is this right?
yes.
There's the code.
So if you type in 15 off Lime on Amazon, there's you'll see right before you buy it, there's like a coupon code thing, but that will work on all the tape, the leafing supplies. I'm pretty sure the metal fix on there too. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Holy crap. So yeah, that's coupon code. That's good till tomorrow afternoon. So if you're too tired tonight to go browse on Amazon, you can wake up tomorrow morning and 15 off Lime will still be, you'll still be able to use that tomorrow. Whew, it's hot. We're good? This goes to Austin. Or Austin, looks like you won a leaf spinner. That was the last thing, right?
Yep.
Oh, looks like you won it. Awesome. Okay, we'll put that. So yeah, anybody that won something tonight, just hit me up on either the LimeLine email or hit me up some, Instagram usually is probably the best way if you're on Instagram. If you're not, just email.
Larry said, wait, are you mixing your brand clear?
I'm sorry, what was that? Yes, mixing. Larry, yes, we were mixing LimeLine clear base coat. right.
Are you in a frat? And who are you going to paddle with that thing?
Yeah, well, we've already talked about that.
He asked twice.
That's why I'm saying
I don't want to say.
That's funny. The hell, man. Austin said, thanks, sick. And Missy said, love watching your videos.
Thanks, Missy.
What should we paint next week? Do you have an idea?
I have no clue. Not a paddle again. We'll do maybe. I got a couple of paddles to do, but
Do something else
Yeah.
next week?
yeah, maybe I'll do the mini helmet.
No, I'm saying you didn't give this away.
Oh, okay. Well, we didn't.
Let's do one more giveaway.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay, one more giveaway.
Okay, so
We'll show them what they're gonna win.
We have a helmet.
Here, bring it over here.
Let's do one more.
I'm burning up. Let's go. Okay. Let's check out this little mini helmet here. How cute it is. Regular price $49.99. And how are they gonna win it? Who's gonna win it?
I don't know.
Okay, well, go ahead. You said.
Okay, let's see. People get mad about this one when I do it, but let's say. Okay, we're gonna do, just so y'all know, it's gonna be an emoji race. So don't be mad. It's just the first one that I see on the screen, okay?
Yeah, because if it comes up on your screen first, it's probably because it's your screen, but it really needs to be on our screen first. So whatever pops up first, whoever is the first one is going to win it.
Let's do the green heart.
A green heart?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, you type in a green heart and you're the first one. You're going to win yourself a cat helmet. You can paint it. You can put it on your desk. You got to be from the U.S., unfortunately, or Canada. We can get that shipped out to you.
Someone said you can paint a mini surfboard.
That sounds cool. Sounds awesome. Where would I find one of those?
Someone said, totally off topic, but if I laid down some candy and cleared it, if it's not as dark as I hoped, can I spray more candy over the clear to darken it up?
Yeah, you would have to wait for the clear coat to dry, and then you would scuff it down, and then clean it up with some glass cleaner or prep or whatever you use, and then spray the candy again over that, re-clear it. Okay.
So it looks like the first green heart that I see on my end is Austin.
Austin won the helmet too? Nice. Different Austin or same Austin?
Same.
Okay. Well, that's easy enough. He's the fast fingers. All right. That's it, right? We done with the questions?
Yep.
Okay. Appreciate you guys. We will see you next Thursday. Painting something.
Yep. See y'all next Thursday. Good night.